Hello, today I'm going to model the group and individual plan format in the MTSS Explorer tool. In this elementary example, there is already a core plan in place, but we know there are students in this class that need supplemental strategic instruction. My core plan has addressed modeling and clarity practices as well as metacognitive strategies. I am now going to compare groups of students in my class to see where patterns and trends of needed support are. By clicking on the literacy expansion, I can now view additional data points. For first grade at the beginning of the year, I want to look at nonsense word fluency, which entails correct letter sounds and whole words read. I'm going to sort by whole words read. I'm looking for students who are segmenting sounds, but not quite blending them. I can pin these data points and collapse. I can also consider other data points, such as behavior or attendance. When compared to their peers, this group of students are able to segment phonemes, but are not yet blending as demonstrated by their whole words read. 2 of the 4 students also transferred in, and I know they did not have letterland instruction. Based on my data, I will now create a plan aligned to meet the needs of these students. To create a plan for these students, I will come here to the Create Plan button and click it. From this page, I select literacy as the general area of need. I then determine the level of support. In this case, it will be a Tier 2 plan. I am then asked to justify the plan. I first review the problem-solving process to ensure those steps have been addressed. The justification in this case will be the student or students require strategic support and identified area of need based on evidence or assessment. I have a box here where I can capture additional information if I need to, and I will save and continue. At this point, I am now going to choose the specific area of need. I can select up to 2. In this case, I will choose 1, and that will be phonics and word recognition. I will save and continue. Now I'm on the plan page. You'll see the general area of need as well as the specific area of need has pulled through. A text box here allows me to capture information specific to this plan. For example, perhaps I want to indicate this intervention will be delivered through small group. Remember, this is an addition to core, the old core plus more. So we want to capture and reflect back on what's being done at core. Since there is a core plan already in place, you'll see the instructional practices indicated by a CP. If a core plan was not in place, I'd have to choose at least 1 instructional practice in order to proceed. Since those are in place, I can determine when this plan will begin. And I can choose Save. And now, based on my specific area of need, certain intervention options will appear. Based on what I know about these students, I've determined that letterland intervention lessons will be appropriate. I can enter a description of what this will look like. In this case, it will be station teaching delivered during daily 5. The frequency will be 4 times a week. And the duration will be 10 minutes. Person responsible will be myself, the regular education teacher. And this is a group size of 4 students. So I have my intervention. I now need to determine how I will progress monitor if students are responding. As you recall, we were using nonsense word fluency data, and that's what we will stick with. In this case, once again, the whole words read. Target date. If I look at my calendar, where students should be at the beginning of the year versus middle of the year, I'm going to aim for the middle of the year, January 11th. I'll set that as a target date. The baseline date, this is where students were at before any intervention was in place. And this is September 1st. This can look different for students, by the way. In this case, it's all the same date. Baseline score for these students is 0. And the target score will be 8 total words read. And that's what I expect students to be able to do by January 11th. I save these changes. Scroll down and complete this specific area of need. We do this because sometimes I'll have 2 specific areas of need. If I'm done, I click Finalize Plan. And I can return to MTSS Explorer where I was at. If I scroll down to the bottom, I will see this group of students. You will see the early warning indicator symbol is changed. It's open. I notice a plan in place. If there was an additional student or students that I feel may benefit from this plan, I can add the student to the plan directly by going to the Student Tools and clicking Add Student to Group. Just for example, I'll put in a baseline score. I'll put 0, although I believe this student had 10. I just want to demonstrate for you. Target score, and add the student to the group. You'll see now this student also appears in the group. Now back on the plan page, I can scroll down to each student. I can enter data for progress monitoring purposes. I can print a copy of the plan. I can exit a single student from this plan. I can move this student to a new plan. I can view a history of the student's plans. I can modify the plan itself. I can end the plan for all students. And I can return to the main class page when I'm finished. Based on the data that's been entered, the early warning indicator may reflect differently. In these examples, there's either not enough data, not trending in the right direction, or the students are making adequate progress.